Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. So let's get it. Let's get it. Now, for those that have been listening on YouTube and that's been listening through the Spreaker app, I really appreciate your listenership, and I really personally appreciate you. Because with this show, Verbal Pick Radio, it's a show like none other, and we're not into doing it to gather likes and subscriptions and whatnot. Although I appreciate all of the likes, all of those who subscribe to the show, and a lot of newcomers that's coming aboard and taking this ride with us. Right, we really appreciate that. But today, if you notice, we did phase 2, which was knowledge, right? Then we went to time and knowledge, right? Now we're getting ready to get into the calendar, the first calendar, which is called Adam's calendar, right? And this is a very deep subject, because it correlates with time and knowledge and also sound. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated, when God created himself and he made that first motion, then that created time, right? And that was a measurement of time. But sound was right there as well, right? So sound, time, and knowledge is playing a big part in where we're at today. So I want to get into Adam's calendar, right? But first, I want to break down Adam, because in one of the oldest languages spoken was before Hebrew. It's called Aramaic. And in Aramaic, Adam means black. Let me get to it. The term Adam means black skin and shaded al-udma. Shaded means very, and al-udma is the noun form of Adam, means very black skinned, right? Al-Ta'ilbi said in his book, Fiqwa al-Lungha, if the blackness of a person exceeds Asma, then he is Adam. Right? Okay. When used to describe people, Adam means very Asmar, black. Ibn Madur said in Lisan al-Arab, people differ concerning why Adam was named Adam. Some of them say he was named Adam because he was created from Atma, the interior of the earth. And some of them say he was named Adam because of the Adam color that Allah gave him. Adam was named Adam because he was created from the Adim, surface of the earth. And it's also said because he was Adam complexioned, right? So I just wanted to give you the background of Adam, right? A little bit more. It says Al-Sayyati said in their Tasfa, called Tasfa al-Jahiliyan, Ham A is black mud. Al-Tabiri said in his Tafsir, as for his words from Hama a mas noun, verily Hama is the plural of Ham A, and it is mud which has changed and is black. Al-Shawakini said in his Tafsir, Ham A is black mud which has changed, or black mud in general without necessarily being changed. So it's telling you that in the beginning, the term Adam has always meant black, or black complexion, or a black person, right? So now we'll get into the Adam's calendar. It's the oldest megalithic site in the world. Right. It predates both Stonehenge and the Great Pyramid of Giza by tens of thousands of years. Located in Mpumalanga, which is Mpumalanga, South Africa. It is a standing stone circle about 30 meters in diameter, and it has been estimated by some accounts to be more than 75,000 years old. Various astronomical alignments have been identified at the site, and it is possibly the only example of a completely functional, mostly intact megalithic stone calendar in the world. Predates the Mayan calendar. But at one time, though, all of this was Asia, but before Pangea split apart, when we were all connected, when the planets was connected and Africa was rooted, that knowledge spread across this whole planet when the whole planet was called Asia. And so that's why you will see a calendar over in the Americas, the Mayan calendar. That's why you'll see pyramids over here, because the East Asia and over here in the Americas were working hand in hand. Atlantis was part of Atlantis was over here. M-U, Lemuria, Yundal, all of that represents Atlantis, and that was over here. Part of it was over here in Central and South America in the Americas. So it just goes to show you that the knowledge spread. Knowledge of the Egyptians in the Grand Canyons, the mound builders in the North Americas. The Olmecs traveled from Mexico and was traveling all down through Mississippi. I mean, we got long extended history here in the Americas. I just want to, we're going to get there. I want to get, okay, here we go. The comments, but I want to get to this part. I want to read something for you all. See, Adam calendar, they got it at 11,500 BC. Here are some astronomical sight lines, right? You got Sirius rising sight line at 163 degrees, right? You got Orion's belt rising horizontally. You got the summer solstice sunrise, 16.5 degrees. You got the winter solstice sunrise. You got the west. Everything that the way they built this calendar was in line with the universe, which was important to their way of being, simply because they were aligning not only stones to align with Orion and Sirius, and plotting seasons, and also not only seasons but time, right? And also they align the stones in a particular way to where it would vibrate and amplify sound. So actually, this was your first amplifiers, if you will. They learned how to extract the sound that was coming from the earth. I mean, think of the minds too. I mean, we're not even doing that today, right? Scattered throughout the mountains of South Africa are thousands of stone circle ruins. The first estimates of the number of these ruins was made in 1891 by English explorer Theodore Bent. He estimated there were about 4,000 in this area of the world. By 1974, the estimate had risen to 20,000. Today, researchers and authority of the subject, Michael Tellinger, has estimated the number of ancient stone ruins to be 100,000 or possibly much higher. Some of these stone circles have no doors or entrances, while most are connected by an expansive network of channels that are often misinterpreted as roads by some historians. These connected grid of circular ruins are immersed in a seemingly never-ending expanse of ancient agriculture terraces surrounding the structures. Adam's calendar is considered to be the most famous among these ruins, right? Calendar. They named it Adam's calendar. Actually, it's the black man's calendar, right? Because there's wisdom within that calendar. And it's not just plotting future events. It's plotting the whole span of time, right? The whole span of time can be seen within this Adam's calendar, right? Okay. Known by African elders as the birthplace of the sun, right? Let me read that again. Right. Known by African elders, right, as the birthplace of the sun, or Nzalo Yalenga, right? Now, if you see that Anga, Gaspar Yanga, right? Those were, you see those names, that Yanga or Langa, all throughout history, all the way even in Brazil, right? The site was first brought to public attention in 2003 by South African pilot Jonan Henne. He had been flying over the mountains of Mpumalanga, Mpumalanga, South Africa for over 20 years and took an interest in the thousands of strange circular stone objects scattered throughout the region and began photographing them. In consulting experts on their origin, he was informed that they were the remains of cattle corral, which is basically a livestock enclosure that was left behind by the Bantu people when they migrated from the north around the 14th century. Today, that theory seems far from definitive, as the structures are unlike any other Bantu cattle corral designs, which are usually made of thorny shrubs with a single exit for the cattle. There are also several thousands of them spread over tens of thousands of miles. So it's not the Bantu cattle corral. An air crash involving one of his crew brought Jonan to discover the mysterious monolithic circle by accident, en route to find one of his pilots who crashed his plane on the edge of the cliff. Jonan noticed an arrangement of large stones sticking out of the ground next to the crash site. While rescuing the injured pilot down the side of the cliff, Jonan walked over to the monoliths and realized they were aligned to the cardinal points north, south, east, and west, as well as equinoxes and solstice, right? So pilots use markers, and he's noticing, wait, man, these the way that these stone sites are lined up, it's in correlation with equinoxes and solstices, which is what winters and summer. There were at least 3 monoliths aligned towards the sunrise, but on the west side of the aligned monoliths, there were a strange hole in the ground. After weeks and months of measuring and making observation, Jonan suspected it was a stone calendar. The site is aptly named Adam's calendar because the stones are placed to track the movement of the sun, which casts shadows on the rock, the beginning. It still works perfectly as a calendar today by following the shadow of the setting sun, which is cast by the tallest central monolith onto the flat stone beside it. This remarkable calendar was originally a large circular stone structure resembling Stonehenge, and in the center of the circle are 2 upright stones which are said to have been carved. Its original shape is still clearly visible from satellite images. The stones are all dolomite, weighing up to 5 tons each, and are said to have been transported from a distant site, right? So these 5 tons each, stones was transported to sit there in alignment, and they still wondering, how do you move 5 tons in those days, and how did they move the tons of limestone that was used to build the pyramids, right? That's where rhythm and sound comes in, right? It should be noted that the area surrounding Adam's calendar is extremely rich in gold. Several mining shafts have been reported in the area, with one of the richest working mines in the world today being the Sheba Gold Mine, located in Mpumalanga. Not only did the rich gold reefs attract attention in the 1880s, but the early evidence of historic civilizations mining for minerals were described in writings by the early Europeans, right? The first calculation of the age of the calendar were made based on the rise of Orion. See, we all connected. When you hear them talking about Sirius B or Planet X or Orion, or you see the dog star, or you see the Dogon people, yeah, that's all connections. You see Nemo, that's all us. Okay. The first calculation of the calendar were made based on the rise of Orion, a constellation known for its 3 bright stars forming the belt of the mythical hunter. The earth wobbles on its axis. You heard Mr. Farrakhan say that the earth wobbles on its axis. So the stars and constellations change their angle and presentation in the night sky on a cylindrical base. This rotation, called the precession, completes a cycle about every 26,000 years, closely 25,896. I gotta get quoted very on that, but 26,000 years. By determining when the 3 stars of Orion's belt were positioned flat against the horizon, it is possible to estimate the time when the 3 stones in the calendar were in alignment with these stars. Right? Okay. So, look, okay, here we go. Bill Hollenbeck, based on the rise of Orion, suggested an age of the site of at least 75,000 years. A further calculation done in June 2009 suggested an age of at least 160,000 years, right? Based on the rise of Orion's flat on the horizon, but also on the erosion of dolerite stones found at the site. Some pieces of the marker stones had been broken off and set on the ground, exposed to natural erosion. When the pieces were put back together, about 3 centimeters of stone had already been worn away. These calculations helped assess the age of the site by calculating the erosion rate of the dolerite, right? That's how they let you know, determine how old something is by this up-to-date science. By 2009, science evolved so much to where they can damn near pinpoint the exact age of something. The latest and most interesting discovery of the stone circles and Adam's calendar is the sound frequencies of the rock formations from the earth below them. So they set it up to catch sound frequencies from the earth below. Powerful. And they say that black people contributed nothing to society. Wow. Okay. Anyway, right. The latest and most interesting discovery of the stone circle and Adam's calendar is the sound frequencies of the rock formations from the earth below them. With modern technology, Tellinger and scientists have been able to detect and measure sound frequencies with acoustic properties made from the earth inside the circles, which conduct electricity. Look, they knew how to harness electricity, sound, and calculate time with just using earth properties. Tons. They knew, okay, these stones would have to weigh a certain amount of weight pressed against the earth in order to create a reaction, or in order to draw that sound up, and also harness electricity. And then they use that they use the electricity, they use the sound, and they use that Adam's calendar for their benefit and advancement. But and that's what I'm saying. You cannot take nature lightly. You can't take this ground that you walk on. You can't take the dirt. You can't take the grass. You can't take these stones. You can't take the ocean. You can't take the clouds, the sun, the moon, and the stars lightly. You can't just do what you want, start polluting, throwing water, and drilling here and oil, and running these type of creatures out of their habitats due to greed and profit, and not think that there'll be some type of repercussion, right? Because the science is in the earth and it comes from the earth. The mathematics is in the earth and it comes from the earth. We keep going though. So anyway, they saying that there is. Let me keep going. With modern technology, Tellinger and scientists have been able to detect and measure sound frequencies with acoustic properties made from the earth inside the circles which conduct electricity. But these acoustic properties, the way that they align it, because anybody, you can't just go get some stones and place them and place them somewhere on the planet and get the same results. They knew the exact location, where to play, what to do, how to place it, in order to get or achieve the result that they wanted. That's science. That's high science, right? These sound frequencies of the earth under the stones are shaped as flowers of sacred geometry as they surface to the ground. Of sacred geometry. They was doing sacred geometry as far back as what they calculated 160,000 years ago. But we go all the way back to 76 trillion years of high science. That's how long the black man's history can be calculated back to. It even goes back further than that, but we've been here so long that time has erased our history. That's how long we've been here. I mean, you keep flying and traveling this world, you'll keep finding so many things that we were already doing, right? But I just wanted to share that with you all about the black man's calendar, i.e. Adam's calendar, one of the oldest structures on the planet, right? Done by black man, in South Africa, the rooted continent, right? Building a structure that plots Orion, Sirius B. The history of the Dogons is up in there. Sound, acoustics, right? I mean, they were creating something to make life comfortable for them at that time. Meaning sound frequency, electricity, plotting the constellations was important. And they created something on earth. That's why I say as above, so below. If we can only grasp that understanding. One explanation of that is, as a person thinketh, so is he, because your thoughts are considered as above, and then they produce on earth, on the ground, which is as below. That's one aspect of it, right? Another aspect is, as above, so below. What you see in the universe, or what they call in the heavens, they were duplicating it, a whole solar system of Adam's calendar right here on the ground. That whole Adam's calendar is a duplicate of the universe. How did they know what the universe looked like without any telescopes and then position it perfectly? So are they saying that we were somewhere else and we came here and we put down on the earth what we saw from our memories of what was, as a reminder to show us where we came from, right? Could be. It's like you will see the Muslims who were slaves in America, right? Who wrote the Quran by hand, by memory. They didn't have another copy of the Quran to write from, to duplicate it. They wrote the Quran by memory. And then they shared it and were still reading that Quran underground while they were slaves in this America. Wow. I mean, those some powerful people is all I'm saying. I'm not saying that to discredit any other race. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just simply saying that with all the negative comments and images and how they try to portray us in such a negative light, you got the adverse showing you all the wonderful things and all the scientific advancement that we gave to society, which knocks out the falsehood of the lies that they tried to get people to believe through their movies, that they portrayed us as. You see the shows of the butlers and the mammies and the maids and all of that. You know the game. The game played out, but you know what I'm saying. And so you can find the structures all over this planet, from the Olmecs heads in Mexico, to now you learning about Adam's calendar in South Africa. Do your research. And matter of fact, I had scheduled a trip to South Africa just to video this for you all, but due to this COVID-19, it got canceled, and so we'll try to go back later once all this is over with. But yeah, they canceled my flight, so it is what it is, But research and study. It's so much. It's not you can't do all this in one lifetime to uncover all the wonders and the knowledge and science that we as a people gave to the world and created, right? But I do want to thank that one who came and gave us knowledge that would benefit our very being, right down to the diameter of this earth, the weight of this earth, the science that we can build and raise our head high and not be victims of somebody else's narrative, to where we can create our own. That's what it's about. Verbal Pick Radio. We out. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank my listenership. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all just do not know how much. We're a small community. We're a small budding community. We're growing, but it's a small community where we can deal with one another and share information and knowledge. Verbal Pick Radio. We're out.